Hello, welcome back to the Watford Way. I hope you are well, and I'm expecting lots of Leeds fans to be tuning in to this match preview as they usually do. So hello to any Leeds fans watching today. I want to cast your minds back 3 months to the end of 2024 when Watford faced Leeds United away from home at Elland Road in the reverse fixture. And I have to say, I was pretty impressed with Watford, especially in the second half. Unfortunately, the game ended 2-1 in Leeds' favour. Quadway Bar picking up the only goal for the Hornets. And if it wasn't for a Daniel Batman goalkeeping disaster class in the first half, I felt Watford very much could have come away with a point and maybe even more, depending on how the rest of the game went. But that was probably one of our better performances this season, especially away from home. And fast forward 3 months to today, Watford are in a very different situation. The feeling around the club is different. The fan base are a lot more on edge, I would say, of course, with the rumours around Tom Cleverley's future growing week by week, and our owner Gino Pozzo is very unpredictable in his decision making. So you never know, Watford could lose against Leeds, Tom Cleverley could be sacked. Watford could lose against Leeds and Tom Cleverley could pick up a new contract. We don't know what our owner is going to do. He's a very chaotic individual. But what the last game has done for me against Sunderland, especially picking up that draw away from home, is it's given me a renewed sense of confidence and belief in what is a very stretched Watford side at the moment. We didn't receive the backing we really wanted in the January transfer window. We picked up an injured left back from Chelsea who can't play until March, and the other two signings we made were both from our sister club Udinese in our new goalkeeper Egil Selvik, who had a great debut against Sunderland with 2 one-on-one saves, and our new centre-back in James Abankwah, as I said, both from Udinese. So if you're a Leeds fan watching this, Watford fans haven't been very impressed with our ownership for quite a long time now, especially in the past few months. And there were talks potentially around a protest for this Leeds game outside of kind of the director's box or corporate entrance. I feel like that's died down somewhat in the past week or so for whatever reason. The Watford fan base at the moment, I feel, are slightly on edge. We're kind of unsure what's happening with Tom Cleverley and whether he'll be here for the long term. We don't know if our owner is really committed. But what we do know is that these players are playing for our manager, and we saw that in the last game against Sunderland. I thought the performance was absolutely magnificent. If you're a Leeds fan watching this preview today and you've not seen that Sunderland game, I urge you to go and watch it, because I felt the best of this Watford team was really on show. A marvellous performance. We were really unlucky actually not to come away with 3 points. And if we'd beaten Sunderland at the weekend, that would have been their first loss at the Stadium of Light this season, which shows how close Watford were to achieving greatness just a few days ago. Imran Louza, of course, scoring a marvellous goal in that game from about 35 yards out as well, which was, absolutely incredible. Turning my attention to Leeds, Daniel Farke, I feel, is a really good manager. Actually, he's been in and around the Championship and the lower end of the Premier League for quite a few years. And just looking at their last Championship team they put out here in front of me, they've got some quality players. Of course, they've got Perot up front, Solomon, Dan James, Ethan Ampadu, Junior Firpo, Joe Rodon, Bogle. Meslier in goal for me is probably the weak point for Leeds and has been for some time. I feel like every time I log on to Twitter, there's another Ivan Meslier howler. So for me, if I was Tom Cleverley, I would be saying to the Watford team, get as many shots on target as you possibly can and challenge Meslier in goal, because this season especially, every time, as I say, I go onto social media, I feel like I see a Meslier mistake or a Meslier error that leads to a goal. So, in terms of weak points for Leeds, they've got a quality squad. In my opinion, that is a Premier League ready squad. I know they are at the top of the Championship, but they really should be getting promoted this season, regardless of what happens between now and May. It's an absolutely fantastic team. And Daniel Farke is saying today that obviously Dan James and Joe Rodon, I believe, were injury doubts, but they are both going to be available for this Watford match, which obviously strengthens Leeds further going into this game. Their last match was actually in the FA Cup against Millwall. They had, unfortunately for them, a 2-0 defeat, albeit they did rotate their squad heavily, I believe, from what I've heard. So I'm sure Leeds fans aren't too concerned about that. Their focus is primarily going to be on the Championship and achieving promotion this season. Watford injury news is looking a little bit more promising, I do have to say. Our fantastic young Irish attacker Rocco Vata should be back and available for selection for this game. Tom Cleverley confirming in his pre-match press conference that he recovered from his niggle against Norwich a couple of weeks ago. Then he sustained some sort of virus or illness that he missed out the Sunderland game with. But yeah, he's recovered, he's ready to go, and hopefully he'll start in this game, because Watford are lacking just something in attack, just that little spark we're lacking since Kwadwo Bar got injured. So yeah, good to see that Rocco Vata will be back and available to start. The longer term absentees are still there, the likes of Kwadwo Bar, Pierre Duomo, Daniel Batman and Caleb Wiley, of course, our new left back signing from Chelsea, all remain out injured, whilst Vacuum Bio will be serving the second of his 3-match suspension for violent conduct, which I have to say I still don't think I would class necessarily as violent. But yes, he did shove the Norwich player kind of towards the neck area, and yeah, Watford actually appealed that decision to the FA, but they did not overturn the referee's on-field call. So Vacuum Bio, our top goal scorer this season, is going to be out for the second of his 3-match ban. Score prediction time. Now, I was originally going to go into this game with quite a negative mindset and say from the outset that Watford were very much going to lose this quite heavily. But I have to say the 2-2 away draw at Sunderland has given me really a huge renewed sense of belief in this Watford team and what Tom Cleverley is trying to achieve. And whilst we still have some tough fixtures to come in Middlesbrough and Luton in the next week or so, I do feel Watford may potentially nick something from this game. We have the home crowd behind us. We're live on Sky Sports. We're under the lights. The vibes are going to be there. And yeah, I'm going to go with the same score we saw at Vicarage Road last season and the same score we saw against Sunderland at the weekend. A 2-2 draw for me, with Rocco Vata and Georgie Shaffertatse picking up the goals for Watford. So let me know your score predictions in the comment section down below. Let me know if you're going to the game as well. Of course, I'm a Watford season ticket holder, so I will be there. If you see me, feel free to say hello. I'm not a monster. I do not bite. I'd be more than happy to have a chat with you. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and we'll be back after Leeds for our post-match reaction. Bye-bye.